What's going on, you guys? Coming at you with a short video on how to throw way smoother backhands and easily throw over 400 feet. Anyone with an average build, even if you don't work out, I think you can throw over 400 feet with just 2 tips alone. This isn't going to be a full basic tutorial on like, oh, hold the disc like this, do all that. I just have 2 simple tips for you. This video is probably going to be the best if you've been playing for at least a couple months. So let's talk about it. So the first tip is when people watch the pros, I feel like people don't realize that everyone has different body types. So sometimes the backhand looks different, but of course, you know, you slow them down, you all see the power pocket looking thing. And basically if you're a novice at disc golf, or maybe you've been playing a long time, but everyone's talking about the reach back, you know, to really reach back, and that's how you get a bunch of speed, but that's really not it at all. I think the most speed and the most consistency comes from when someone pulls the disc and it comes in one motion. So from here, completely straight line all the way to release. If you watch some slow motion stuff, like I'm showing you right now, even some of the top players have kind of like a curved or like twisted path, but then the best players, like the top people, the people who are always on the lead cards, always have a smooth path. Now, sometimes it doesn't always work that way. Just because you have a smooth throw doesn't mean you're gonna be the best golfer that day. But I think a good example is Paul Mcbeth is really reaching out here these days, and he throws it smooth every time. Now, the reason I bring up Paul Mcbeth is because I've never met him in person, but from watching him, you know, just play disc golf, he looks like he has wide hips. I'm someone with wide hips too. So unless you're the scrawnier build with a narrow hip, something like Gannon Burr, it's probably a good idea to think about reaching out. Now, there's gonna be some guys out there like Eagle McMahon who looks like they're literally reaching back, and it probably might be the case, but because he's so slender, he kind of gets away with it, and this just happens to be where he can naturally get a smooth path. For someone with wide hips, I feel like this is for most guys. Garrett Gurthey's another example. You want to keep the disc far away from you. So I would say for most people, especially starting out, even if you are kind of that scrawnier build, it makes it so much easier and you get a way smoother path if you just start the disc out and away from you and don't think about pulling it back at all. Just keep it right there, and then eventually it's going to end up behind you, which is the cool thing. So my second tip before I start throwing is basically, it's not really about the upper body throwing super hard. I feel like that's the very last piece of the puzzle. The first like 85% that will get you into, you know, the 960 plus rating is that you have to learn that every single disc golf throw is powered by the lower body. Now you're probably thinking like, oh yeah, what about like if they're throwing from a knee or a standstill? Even then, the hips are throwing the torso basically. So like think of it as like the whole throw is being done by the lower body, and then the upper body is like the disc is on a string attached to the upper body, and it just flings it out right after the lower body does its thing. So every single throw, like 85% of it, is basically determined by the lower body. I could throw it like with my finger on the outside and probably still get some decent distance, knowing that I have to keep like a straight line. Actually, probably not with my finger on the outside, but you get the point. You can probably still throw pretty darn well if you were to master the lower body. Same with sidearm. I didn't really think about it, but when I take that big step with sidearm, my right hip is starting to come through, right? Now I might be doing more arm, but definitely the lower body sets it up. My first tip, keep the disc out away from you. Second tip, realize it starts with the lower body. So I guess one thing to add on before I start throwing these 3 different discs, I think people try way too hard to be way too fast, and they completely mess up the timing. Like they'll really try and run up, and they won't focus on the timing at all. They're just trying to throw a big shot, and I get it. But when you see these like top pros run up and they're really trying to, you know, add speed to it, they've mastered the timing. So every little bit of speed that they add is actually going to be beneficial to the throw. When you're not like of that skill level, when you don't have the skill acquisition, you're actually just gonna mess yourself up, because every time you kind of like speed up or try whatever, it's probably gonna throw off the timing of everything, And worst of all, it might actually end up in a not smooth or like straight line for you. It might end up in like from here to here to here and then go, which is so much slower than right here. So I'm gonna throw just 3 that are completely smooth, and hopefully it gets around from like 360 to 425. I'm not even trying to throw like a power shot, just flat, controlled, keep it away. Okay, not the best throw. I turned it over a bit, but okay, Nuke OS, this will come back. If you throw an understable disc, like a Boss, for example, you can definitely throw farther. This video is more about throwing smooth. So even though, like, you can throw farther throwing smooth, it's really about just throwing good. Because once you throw good and you master all the basics, you can easily throw much farther. All right, I don't even know where that one went. But anyways, I think it probably turned over. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully these 2 tips helped you to throw a lot better and start looking more like the pros when you actually watch the pros and then watch yourself throw and you're wondering why it doesn't look the same. Anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one.